Hello there my fairies and gentle tales, and welcome back to the Fairy Tail Arc Rankings. This may be number 13, but we are not unlucky, because this arc is actually pretty good, and the video came out in less than 2 years this time. The 13th best arc in all of Fairy Tail is the Galuna Island arc, aptly named because the arc takes place on Galuna Island. However, a better name for the arc perhaps would have been Grey Luna Island, because our favourite resident ice wizard stripper is the focus. To clarify, the first 4 arcs in Fairy Tail, except for this one, are focused on fleshing out the 4 main characters with their backstory and more about who they are as people. To sum it up, Lucy has daddy issues, Grey has mummy issues, Urza has no issues because she's perfect just the way she is, and Natsu is saving his character development for later. As of 2023, it's still not later. As stated before, Galuna Island is an arc primarily focused on Grey. I mean, the main villain is from Grey's past, who is trying to unleash a demon from Grey's past, who was sealed away by a mentor from Grey's past. Hard to get more Grey than that, short of the 50 Shades series. The plot revolves around Natsu and Lucy sneaking off on an S-Class quest to Galuna Island, and, seeing as neither of them are S-Class wizards, the guild isn't too happy about this. Grey is sent to retrieve them. But, well...
Wait. There we go. We're ready when you are, sir.
Once on the island, they meet a tribe of human villagers that are being affected by the strange purple moon, turning them into demons as each night falls. Because the moon is doing this to them, they tell Team Natsu to destroy it as part of the job. Team Natsu decides to investigate an alternative method, and they learn about some malicious strangers on the island. They go to investigate them instead. After some stuff happens, they find out that Grey's old childhood training buddy Leon and his cronies are doing an ancient ritual to revive Deliora, the demon responsible for killing Grey's family. Both of them. Oh yeah, Grey's an orphan twice over. Deliora killed his birth family, and we'll never see them again. And then Grey was adopted by a powerful ice wizard. She took him in alongside Leon and taught him ice magic, which is also where he got his stripping habit, which I don't think I've actually mentioned in these videos yet, but if you're a fan of Grey's shirtless physique, you are certainly in luck with this series. One day, Grey got a bit grumpy and went off to kill Deliora, only to get wrecked by the demon, because turns out these guys are actually threatening. Fights Deliora to save him, but she can't kill him either, and so she uses a powerful spell known as Iced Shell to seal Deliora in ice forever, at the cost of her own life. Leon and Grey have a falling out, Grey ends up at Fairy Tail, and the story goes on to the current day. Fast forward 10 years, and Leon wants to resurrect Deliora so then he can kill it properly and prove himself as a superior wizard to Yeah, Leon is kind of a salty bitch like that, but he's still a pretty cool villain. He wields ice make magic like Grey, but his constructs are alive and animated, summoning various animals as his forms of attack, and he can even do it with one hand. What a boss.
Single-handed spellcasting is too unbalanced. Your creations will let you down when you need them the most.
He brought Deliora all the way to Galuna Island so he can perform the Moon Drip ritual, a ritual that breaks magic spells using moonlight, and that's what's affecting the villagers. So Team Natsu needs to stop Grey's childhood friend from getting himself killed by the demon, as well as everyone else on the island, and also save the villagers from their demonic curse, all while Grey deals with all his unresolved trauma. What a neat little package. Grey is obviously the focus of the story here. His resolve to stop Leon making a terrible mistake and atoning for his past failures take the center stage of the story. He's shown willing to cast Iced Shell on 2 separate occasions, obviously at the cost of his own life, but Natsu stops him both times, showcasing that despite their bickering, they really do care about each other. I like this a lot, some good character moments between the pair of them here. Natsu doesn't get much development beyond that he actually cares about Grey and encouraging him not to give up after his loss to Leon, but that's fine, he doesn't need to go through large changes. Same with Lucy, because this arc isn't about them. But hold on, going on about these 3, I feel like we're missing someone.
I've heard that island is cursed, and anyone who steps foot on its soil turns into a demon!
I will take that chance.
But why do you have to go there?
When rules are broken, the guilty must be punished. And that is all I can tell you.
Oh heck yes. Urza comes to the island after Grey's failure to return and prepares to take them all back for breaking the guild's rules, villagers be damned. She said that other qualified mages will be able to handle it, but Grey's like, no, we're not doing this, I'm finishing the job. Urza doesn't take much convincing, and she assists with the quest until the end, showing that she does have a good heart under all that cold armor. This is also one of my favorite moments of the arc. I enjoyed seeing Urza show more humanity. So, we've covered the characters, we've covered Grey's tragic past, what about the main focus of this anime? The fights. Well, I actually have a lot of praise to give this time. Grey vs Leone is a damn good fight both times that it happens. In their first encounter, Grey gets stomped, but in the rematch, mainly through sheer will and respecting Er's teachings, he manages to beat down Leone. Questions about Grey's durability aside, because he takes some serious punishment in this fight, this is a fight that doesn't rely on some sort of bullshit power-up or enhanced by emotions for the good guys to win. And early Fairy Tail was honestly pretty decent at that now that I think about it. The power scaling in this arc is overall pretty good too. Leone is portrayed as a threat, yes, but never as some, oh, he's the most powerful antagonist ever. Natsu goes toe-to-toe with him, Grey beats him in a reasonable fashion, and if Best Girl Urza steps in, it's questionable if Leone would last more than a minute. Just something I like with hindsight, especially given the power scaling issues I've had with the last arcs we've reviewed. The other fights in this arc are honestly fun as well. Natsu vs Toby and Yuka is both comedic and rather awesome. It showcases Natsu's battle IQ, and how he's a cut above the average wizards in this world. His battle against Zolty is a neat sideshow to Grey vs Leone, and his fight against Leone is also rather badass, for as short as it is. It's reasonable to think that Natsu could have taken down the main threat of the arc himself, but Grey needed the character moments. Urza doesn't really get any fights in the arc beyond beating up cultists, but that's a necessary restriction, given her aforementioned power level. She'd stomp Leone, crush Yuka, and Toby would just stab himself in the head again much in the same fashion as he did in canon. Lucy vs Sheria is... there. I'm sorry, but Lucy's fights in the early arcs were very mediocre. It's probably because she's a summoner type with not many interesting spirits at the moment. There are better fights once she obtains weapons and further training, but for now I just sort of roll my eyes whenever we focus on her battles. It's just a personal thing. So, after all of these fights, after Grey defeats Leone, Natsu drives off Zolty, how does the arc wrap up? Well, thanks to the moon drip, Deliora awakens. Grey prepares to cast Iced Shell in order to seal away the demon again, but Natsu stops him and challenges the demon himself. Deliora throws a punch, Natsu returns, and the demon crumbles to dust. Has Natsu just broken the power scaling like he'll do so many times in the future? No. Deliora had in fact been defeated a long time ago. Not by Leone, by Iced Shell had sapped away at Deliora's life for years, and the demon hadn't lasted for more than a minute when he was finally freed from the ice. Grey thanks his master, and Leone realizes that he's been a bit of a bitch. Back at the village, Urza watches Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters and gets an idea.
Now,
Best Girl Urza.
destroy the moon!
Despite Best Girl's best efforts, the moon is still in the sky, but a magical barrier in front of the moon is shattered, formed by the constant moon drip rituals. Huh, fancy that. But the villagers are still demons. Did Urza's plan fail? No, turns out the villagers are demons. Not the big scary Deliora demons, but the harmless ones. Because they exist as well apparently, don't ask me the lore. The Moondrip Veil was just affecting their memories, and the job request was posted by the village chief's son, who I never told you about, in order to bring his people back to their senses, as he was the only one unaffected by the spell. That's honestly a pretty cool plot twist, and a nice ending to the arc. Yes, it's a purely happy ending. The job is done, the villains are defeated and learnt the errors of their ways, the main characters have all come out of this better than they were when they went in, but that's okay. This is an early arc in Fairy Tail. Not everything needs to be bittersweet victories just yet, and hey, what can I say, I enjoy a happy ending. So in summary, what is the Galuna Island arc? It's pretty good. A solid look into Grey's past with cool fights, a basic yet fun to follow plotline, and solid characterization for this early part of the show. The leap in quality between this arc and the first 9-ish episodes of Fairy Tail is rather astounding, and I highly recommend sticking with the series until you get to this point, because it's from here on out that the show gets good, and it doesn't stop being good. Up until the Key of the Starry Heavens, but we ignore that. Galuna Island gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Well done, Mashima. And, on a final note, the ED for this arc, Merry Go Round, is utterly fantastic. And just like that, we're done with the review. Sorry this one was a lot shorter than the previous 2 reviews, but this arc is like 10 episodes long at the most. No need to drag it out further than necessary, especially when all I have to say about the arc is mostly positive. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. I review basically everything on the planet at this point, from movies, to anime arcs, to boss rankings, to Yu-Gi-Oh! Archetypes, so if you like hearing my monotone voice talk about fun fictional content, I'm more than happy to provide. The channel's growth lately has been incredible. Thank you all so much, and please stay tuned for my channel anniversary video on April 17th New Zealand time for some important announcements and a more formal thank you. With that, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.